Phase 1, 4 weeks, dig deeper, completed. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down. I have completed phase 1, which is 4 weeks long. There are 3 phases, so I've got 2 to go in dig deeper. I want to talk about how I feel, how I look, what I've gone through, and let's just get it out of the way earlier. That's my progress picture. That is 4 weeks from start to finish. I look different, maybe. Different lighting, different angle. I may have taken the camera from front side to reverse side. I'm not sure. I'm going to tell you, I started at 182 pounds. I'm about 177, 178 there. Not much as far as weight loss, but I think what you can really see there is the effects of nutrition. You can see that I was a little bit inflamed, although I think I still look good on day 1. I'm less inflamed on day 28, day 30, whatever day that is, whatever you want to call it, the end of phase 1. So I believe that there is plenty of volume in this workout to maintain your muscle mass. At the same time, if you eat well, you're going to be able to reduce that inflammation and be able to look good. I'm not trying to burn fat. I'm trying to keep my muscle, get stronger, and put a little bit of muscle on. Week 4, how did it go? It was a stress week. It was a test week. It was something where I wanted to take what I learned in 2 and 3 and stress it and test it. How strong have I become? Where am I at? What can I push? How much more intensity can I add without injury? That's what week 4 was, because I knew we're changing it up going into phase 2. And this was a great opportunity for me to assure myself or get the feeling that what I was doing was actually working. I think that if you take on Dig Deeper or any training program in this way, you're going to start to be able to see much better results. Week 1, practice and collect data. Week 2 and 3, you begin to apply that data. And week 4, you then stress and test it. You then are able to be assured of the strength gains and the affirmations that the work you're doing are actually working. Week 4 was all about test and stress, not only with my workouts, but with my nutrition as well. With the workouts, because I used the tracking sheets, I was able to up my weights at the right time so that I could get the biggest bang for my buck with strength gains. And in week 4, I did just that with the weights. I went after it and said, let's up it, but let's not get too far out of hand and get hurt. This is a moment for you to understand that you've got 8 weeks left of training, and you need to be able to put yourself in a position to lift more with low risk of injury. So we upped the weights, we went after it. Some of it was tough, some of it wasn't. It was affirming, yet it was also, I gotta work in that area. These muscles are not as strong as I hoped they were. So you're gonna get a give and take. Not everything's gonna go up, or maybe it will, really. You might be able to be in that position of continuously going up. But remember, fitness, health is not linear where it's going to keep going like this. It's going to do this. It's going to do this. It's may drop down. There's all kinds of things that happen during your fitness journey. As far as my calories, I added some. I took some away. I added in carbs. I took some carbs away. There were days that I understood that when I ate a lot, I was going to feel great the next day. My metabolism started to go up in week 4. There were things that started to happen that I had to be aware rather than be rigid with my nutrition. I think there's a time and place to be that specific and hyper-focused. There's also a point that being too rigid could hurt your performance and your gains. What you're gonna feel in the advantages going into week 4 and coming out of it. 1, you're gonna know the exercises, you're gonna know the moves, you're gonna know the sequencing. If you're tracking your weights, you're gonna know what you're able to lift and what you're not able to lift and what you need to be able to test. Knowing that alone is a huge confidence boost going into week 4, especially when you're testing what you've already been doing. One of the things that you have to be aware of when going into week 4 is adaptation. Your body's done this for 3 weeks. Been there, done that. You know what's going to happen. You understand the intensity, but that doesn't mean take your foot off the gas, and that doesn't mean hit the gas pedal hard. All that means is that be careful that the body knows what's coming and that you're still going to be responsible for the stress that you put on the muscle. And because you're testing and putting more stress on the muscle, it's another opportunity for you to collect more data on how strong you've become. What is your endurance? Where are you at? What sort of intensity do you have? It's an excellent reminder of what you did in week 1 as you begin to enter phase 2 out of the adaptation of 4 weeks doing the same thing over and over, and then changing it up to overload and stress the muscles in a different way as you move into phase 2. The cons, the downside of week 4. You're tired, you're sore, you're bored of the exercises. It's all part of the process. been there. I experienced it as well. I'm like, another curl, great. Hammer curls up and down. Now I have to go into this ab mode. I'm so sick of it. Those emotions, they happen. But obviously, you're in a plan that you need to be challenged in order to grow, so you have to do the things that you don't want to do. And this is classic case of be careful of not getting bored, not being overwhelmed, not saying forget it, and not cutting corners where you know you can cut corners where you think it's not going to affect you. You bought into a plan, you committed to a plan, let's stick to it. And that's what I had to do as well, because there were moments where I'm like, maybe I'll only do 45 seconds of this ab, or maybe I'll just skip the abs, or yeah, whatever, I'm only gonna do 10 reps because I went up in weight. No, you still gotta do what's required. The other big piece in going into week 4 is that now you're into a system. You've done 3 weeks. Life starts to happen. You can't get away from life. You've got soccer games, you've got meetings, you've got kids, you've got doctor's appointments. You've got a lot of things that maybe you were able to flex in the first part, but now you're actually in it. You're like, oh my gosh, I got 4 weeks down. What's going to happen now? You've got to be able to continue to stay focused on the goal at hand, and that is the 12 weeks combined with your nutrition, your supplements, the lifestyle, so that you can create the results that you ultimately want. Be careful of life starting to creep up on you right now and you thinking that you can get away with flexing the plan in your favor. Nutrition, going into week 4, how did I feel? What can you expect? What are you gonna go through? Pretty simple. You become systematic and efficient. You already know how you're going to feel with how much food that you're eating. Your biggest hurdle that you're gonna come up against is, did the metabolism change, and do you need to feed the muscle more in order to make more muscle to become stronger or to recover? Those are your biggest hurdles, is that you now have created all of this consistency and your body might be changing. So it's like, feed me more. So you have to be aware of that going into week 4. But like I said, you become highly systematic and efficient. You understand what too much food feels like, not enough food feels like, that you do need to eat before your workout or you don't, what you should be eating after, how that makes you feel, are you bloated? All kinds of things happened after 4 weeks, which is a beautiful thing in nutrition, along with you figured out how much food is gonna cost. I know that when I started, I'm like, load the refrigerator up, and then I realized I didn't need all of that. It's not what I needed. It's not how much that I needed. I didn't go through all of it, and I wasted money here, and that's still in the freezer, or I needed to cook that meat. It's a process, right? By week 4, you know exactly what it is that you need, and you know exactly how much money you're spending, so you got that dialed in from a cost standpoint. Week 4, you know if you're under or overeating, you know how the body feels in both situations, you know what it feels like in order to get enough calories to work out. If you feel underpowered, if you felt like you had an incredible lift day, you look back and be like, what did I eat? You know that now, so that you can begin to apply that going forward. It's actually a really sweet spot to be, having all of that nutrition data. And then once you have that data, you're also able to then turn to somebody somewhere for your help. Like me, you could reach out and say, hey, Mike, I've been eating this way and I'm feeling this way and I'm not sleeping. What do you think your suggestions are? It's a lot easier for me to help you out and more simple for me than just say, I don't know, what have you been doing? And if you don't have that information at hand, you're kind of going off how you're currently feeling at the moment rather than looking at it systematically with data over time. So having nutrition data and going into week 4 is incredible, because now you're able to flex it when that time comes, when you need more calories or not enough calories, or what you need when you need nutrient timing. You start getting into more specifics. And if you're like me, you understand that as you eat more calories, you're able to put on more size. It feeds the muscle. And if you're looking to burn fat, you're looking more of a caloric reduction. So having that data be able to go back and forth on, depending if you're trying to make muscle, build muscle strength, or if you're trying to burn fat. 2 different sources, which means you're going to have to look at that 2 different ways. You can't combine the 2. So if you're that person and you're struggling through week 4 and you're like, I'm trying to burn fat and lose weight, but I'm trying to make more muscle, it's not happening, because those 2 things don't really happen at the same time. So take that off the table. Eat more, make more muscle. Eat less, burn more fat. How about that? Simple as it gets. As far as how do I feel, what do I think? It's week 4. It's done. I'm happy to be done with a phase. I think psychologically, 4 weeks was probably my tipping point, because if it went on the same exact way that it was going for another 2 weeks, it would have caused me more stress and overwhelm. I could have seen it going the same way, but changing reps and sets and making it differently. But that's not the way the program is geared. So 4 weeks and then changing the whole modality and sequencing and whatnot into phase 2, which is time under tension, completely different from what we were doing in phase 1. I'm looking forward to that change and getting out of the adaptation of phase 1 and getting into stressing the muscle in a new way in phase 2. I've gotten no injuries. I've gotten no problems. I'm not trying to be overly intense, but I am intense. I'm hyper focused, highly focused while doing my workouts and being on the nutrition plan that I'm on, but I'm not overly intense. I'm not trying to sprint a marathon. I think that's the best analogy that I can give. And I'm not trying to continuously just be so highly competitive that I'm beating each week after week after week, just trying to get better. That's not how fitness works. We need to be able to recover. We need to be able to test and use different modalities to create strength. And that's why phase 2, time under tension, is going to be a great change. Yes, I came in fit. Am I more fit? Without a doubt. I started out with practice and then I applied for 2 weeks and then I tested and I stressed the muscle. That type of system, which I will use in phase 2 and phase 3, I think is going to be able to put me in a perfect spot to get the best results that I possibly can. And if you do that as well, you're going to be able to reduce the risk of injury or injuries with any program in general. So put that 3-step process into place and that will help you as well. I will be using it going into phase 2. I will be collecting more data, and then in weeks 2 and 3 of that, I will apply it, and then I'll stress it at the end, and then it'll be in the home stretch. And finally, coming out of phase 1, I've got momentum. I've been consistent for 4 weeks, and I'm a person who tells you consistency builds momentum, momentum builds success. So if you want to call phase 1 consistency, phase 2 momentum, phase 3 the success, maybe that's the way we can look at it. But that's basically how I grasp this whole entire thing, is that after phase 1, you will be tested mentally, physically, and then you're going to go into phase 2 with a new momentum, and you'll be able to switch it up, and you can regain what you had lost towards the end because maybe you were bored or tired and you're just at the point, or plateauing, right? A new phase, new modalities, new way to lift, new weights is going to put different stress on your muscle, and you should be excited about entering that new phase to get new results. So that's where I'm at. Phase 1 over and done. I feel good. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Let me know. Comments down below. Tried to keep this to a minimum so we didn't go too long, but either way, let me know what you guys think. If you're ahead of me and dig deeper and you have some input or insight, let me know down below. Or if you're in the strength and conditioning community, bodybuilding, and you want to drop some insight of what that's like to go from phase to phase to phase, I'm always open to learning and listening to anybody who's got knowledge and experience in the field. So drop it down. I hope you guys are well. Follow, like, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. It helps me in the channel. And look for me to drop the next video, either a week 1 or week 1, week 2 combination. I'm not sure yet, but you know me. I'll drop you something.